Hi, I'm Jeff Murrah. I want to welcome you to True Texas History, where today we are going to talk about the Immortal 32. The Immortal 32 is a reference to the 32 volunteers from Gonzales, a group known as the Gonzales Rangers, that made it to the Alamo on this day, March the 1st, 1836. They did so probably about 3 o'clock in the morning when they got through the gates. Their reaching the Alamo was quite a feat. I mean, you have 32 people managing to maneuver and get past the encircling army of the Mexicans, which was between 4,000 and 6,000 men. Now, the people of Gonzales, after the Alamo, after word of the Mexican forces arriving at the Alamo, the plea for help went out and arrived at Gonzales. The mayor of Gonzales, Andrew Ponton, made sure that the people knew about what was going on, and the ranger commander, Bird Lockhart, went ahead and issued a call. Now, the Gonzales Rangers were the only military unit that responded, the only organized military unit that responded to Travis's plea for help. So it's almost like he sends this letter, and the only people that came were the 32 from Gonzales. Most of them were married men with families. These were the people that were concerned about their families. Just keep in mind, San Antonio presently is only about an hour's drive from Gonzales. So it's pretty close. Of course, we can travel faster now than they could then. Although most of them were married men, there were a few teenagers that were part of it, and one of them that is worth noting, some of the historians talk about, there was a 16-year-old kid. He was one of the fiercest fighters in that whole conflict, and when they came upon his body, he died clutching the throat of a Mexican soldier, and his grip would not even let go in death, so he ended up killing the person who was trying to kill him, and their bodies were locked together. There is a monument to the Immortal 32 in Gonzales, and typically the people of Gonzales place flowers and remember the sacrifice, because here in Texas we value our history. Now, also at the Alamo, they have a reenactment ceremony where the 32 arrive. You can imagine to those men in the Alamo, the arrival of those 32 men was, wow, this is great, a wonderful accomplishment. And there at the Alamo, the Mexicans knew the possibility of Texans arriving. There were rumors of troops coming from Goliad. Now, that never happened, but it was there. The Immortal 32, we need to remember these men and the sacrifice they made. I find it interesting, quote from Santa Anna. He said, "The obstinacy of Travis and his soldiers was the cause of death of the whole of them, for not one would surrender. The struggle lasted more than 2 hours, and until the ramparts were resolutely scaled by Mexican soldiers." These men had a determination that's inspiring, and this is part of history we need to celebrate rather than tear down. So, let us take this day and go ahead and remember the sacrifice of the Immortal 32 in the story of the Alamo that we were told not to forget. Vaya con Dios, my friends. Goodbye.